Good evening, everyone. Hello out there in TV land. Good evening. Welcome to the public hearing for the Concord Recreation Facilities Strategic Plan. My name is Phil Griffiths. I am the chair of the Concord Recreation Commission. You flip it on to the next one, DJ. What we're going to do here this evening, I'm just going to introduce my fellow commissioners and some members of the staff. Then I'm going to give a brief 10-minute overview of the facilities strategic plan, give you a little background about what it is, what we did, what we intend to do with it, and then we'll open up for public comment. If you would like to make a public comment, please identify yourself with your name and address, and please keep your comments to 2 minutes. I don't think it'll be an issue this evening. We won't have an overwhelming number of comments, so we should have plenty of time. But that's the agenda for this evening. DJ? So again, Phil Griffiths, Chair of the Recreation Commission. We're joined here by three of my colleagues, Commissioners Paul Bohm, Matt Boger, and Pete Funkhauser. Jim Howard is unable to make it this evening, and his term on the Recreation Commission has completed. So anyone interested in joining us, please let us know through the Department of Recreation. We've also joined this evening by Lee Jackson, the new director of the Concord Recreation Department, and by DJ Fimiani, her assistant. We are very excited to have both of them in new leadership positions at the Recreation Department. The timing is perfect with a new facilities plan to help sort of guide their work in the next few years and to help us understand what the community would like to see. So welcome to Lee and to DJ, and we're thrilled to have them aboard. We're also joined by Jess Porter from the town manager's office. So what is the Recreational Facilities Strategic Plan? We hired a group of consultants, recreation experts from Weston and Sampson. We put together an advisory committee that it consisted of a couple of us from the commission plus a number of people from other agencies in town, because anything we need to do in the world of recreation is going to require cooperation across multiple town agencies. So we had representation from the Natural Resources Department, Highways and Grounds, Public Works, the school department. A lot of people had input into the process. And we want to thank the Community Preservation Committee for funding our work here for the Recreational Facilities Strategic Plan. What did we learn? Weston and Sampson were here for a year, maybe 18 months, working on this process. We did an extensive survey of people in Concord. We held multiple public meetings, a lot of touch points to figure out what the community wanted. Based on that information, this facility strategic plan, it documents the status of our facilities townwide, not just those managed by the Recreation Department, but those managed by the school department, Public Works, other folks, recreation, natural resources. One of the issues we found is that ownership and management of our resources is spread across a number of departments. So we looked at everything, regardless of who owns it. And in general, we found that Concord has a wealth of recreation facilities. Our residents actively use them and generally happy with the quality and availability of those things. Doesn't mean it's perfect, but people are generally happy, and we have a wonderful set of resources. The work with Weston and Sampson, based on what we learned from all of our discussions with residents, they identified 4 primary themes for us to think about for our stewardship of the resources that we have and for expansion into additional resources. Those 4 themes were acquiring more property that can be dedicated to multiple recreational activities, whether that be indoor centers, field space, whatever it is. We can always acquire more property where we can do more recreational activity. We can increase the connectivity between and accessibility to recreational facilities. Let's make sure people can get access to them, use them to their full capability. And let's clarify the visitor experience and lean into exclusivity. Let's make that experience in our parks, at our facilities, the best it can be. People know what's available to them. They know where to go. They know where the restrooms are. They know where the trailheads are. They know how to make the most use of those facilities we have. And then perhaps the most immediate one, expand resources for routine maintenance and upkeep. We all know that there are facilities where we could use updated facilities, maintenance. There's a lot of work, and we need to really identify a way to put some more resources into doing that and having a comprehensive plan to do so. The study made 13 specific recommendations to help us implement these primary themes. I'm not going to go into detail all of them, but this is the nuts and bolts of what we found in the study. There are pages and pages of documentation about the status of current things and how we came to these conclusions, but these were the key recommendations from the consultants. Conduct a number of specialized studies. One, a water access plan. We have lots of rivers and lots of ways to get at them, but we don't have a coordinated plan or a vision for how we can use the water resources in town. A multimodal transportation planning. How do we get people in and out of our facilities, connecting between recreational places, on bikes, pedestrian access, all those sorts of things. And a playing field use study. We have a lot of playing fields. We have a lot of people that use them, and there's sometimes a mismatch between how many, how often, where are they, who's using them, and how we administer that. So, number two, second area, improve or expand current facilities. Consistency of signage and furnishings, so people have a consistent experience. They know what resources are available. It's visually understandable and easy to use and access our parks. An annual inspection program, make sure that everything is up to scratch. Indoor recreation upgrades. We all know that we need better facilities for indoor recreation in the winter. More outdoor courts of all types. A lot of that is in recognition of the rise of things like pickleball, but tennis courts, basketball courts, we need plenty more of that as well. And more diverse play opportunities. Different generations taking different activities, opportunities for smaller kids, tot lots, things like that. Make sure that we are providing facilities for the breadth of people in our community. And then the last set is opportunities to develop new recreation facilities. An indoor recreation facility. We have the hunt here. There's a lot of fun things that go on here, but there's a lot of discussion about whether we need to invest in a new indoor recreation facility for the community. An outdoor civic gathering space, something that doesn't exist in an ideal form at the moment. Trailhead nature and education spaces, those outdoor facilities where we have walking trails, make those more accessible and people understand what's out there and the resources that are available. An outdoor four-season multi-purpose pavilion. There's a lot of things we could be doing in a space like that. And the bane of every park and maintenance park operator's existence, new dedicated dog runs. So it's always a challenge, but there's a lot of call for dog facilities here in Concord. So those are the key recommendations that came out of the report as ways to implement those four themes. And I'd like to take this opportunity to sort of thank everyone on the committee and our friends from Weston and Sampson for the work that they did, and a special nod to fellow Commissioner Paul Bohm for his work on creating the recommendations and all the information in the plan. Next one, DJ. That's what's in the plan. This is not a specific request for funding for specific projects. That's not what a strategic plan does. The findings and recommendations in this RFP document the goals and aspirations for our community with regards to recreation. What would we like to see in an ideal world? And as we talk with our fellow residents and we try and build consensus to get things done, what should it look like? What would we like to invest in? How would we like to get there? And finally, the RFP, for doing that, we need to establish priorities for fiscally responsible investment in the areas identified in this townwide process. We as a commission will help to build that consensus across our partner agencies and with fellow residents so that we can come up with those projects and things out of this thing that people really want to have to work together on. And that's a townwide process. It's not up to us. It's for all of us together to get that done. DJ, last one. The next steps with this is sort of the final public interaction. Public comment we will receive tonight. If anybody has comments on the plan, we will accept them tonight, and public comment is open until the 26th of April via the website, the concordrec.com. On the homepage there is a link to the strategic plan. Anybody can provide comments. There are also links there to the entire document. It's quite a tome, but it's divided up into sections so you can look at parts that you may be interested in. We'll accept public comment till April 26th and then submit the report to the town. Lastly, a bit of what we on the commission have been talking about, some of the opportunities that have bubbled up, and looking at those themes and things that have come across in our conversations, plus things going on in town, things that we anticipate moving forward on or working on, given what we learned about what people care about and the opportunities are out there. We're going to focus a lot of work on working with the Community Preservation Committee to probably see if we can get some funding to look at the next stage of Giroux Park, not in West Concord, because that is a prime opportunity that has made a lot of progress, but there's more to be done. I think it's incumbent upon us as a commission to also look at promoting the broader recreation potential of that whole corridor in West Concord with Warner's Pond, Giroux Park, the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, and how it relates to whatever's going to happen at the MCI property out there. It's an enormous opportunity for the town to think broadly about the many things that we need, and recreation should be one of the components that's incorporated into whatever plan we do there. That's a whole area where we've got lots of resources and a lot of opportunity. And thirdly, I think it's important for us in looking at opportunities for indoor recreation centers. With all the work that's gone on at the middle school, we should look at whether the old middle school is a suitable and appropriate location to think about as an indoor recreation center. There's a lot of issues with that facility, but it's a question we should ask, and we intend to work with our partner agencies in town to see that we can do that analysis and see what we come up with. So those are a few of the things that we'll be working on as a commission. That is our summary of the recreational facility strategic plan. We'd like to take this opportunity now to give anyone any opportunity to make public comment. As I said before, please identify yourself with your name and your address in Concord, and limit your comments to two minutes if possible. I think we should start here in the room with one or two people here, and then we'll go to folks that are joining us online. So, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Brown, 5 Concord Green, and I am the River Ambassador for the Siwasco Wild and Scenic River Stewardship Council. So we were tremendously excited to see us listed as a partner in going forward with development of a water access plan. And I wanted to share that, some of the same issues that we've been trying to reach out to the public with, the same issues that we're trying to reach out to, of increasing access, along with that increasing protection of the rivers. And so we're really much looking forward to improving the access on the rivers, maybe something to do with the MCI Concord land, and other places along the rivers. We're actually looking at other opportunities, different kinds of opportunities for paddling, with the potential for the dam removal at Warner's Pond, the possibility of some, faster water paddling, which has been expressed as an interest by many people. One of the things that wasn't mentioned was sort of maintenance of the rivers. And that is a particular problem for more recreational rivers. There are several trees down in the Assabet now. We need to do some coordination with the natural resources, but it will take coordination with natural resources, public works, and the recreation department to create a balanced approach to removing dead wood in the river that is a danger. We, from a conservation perspective, want to leave as much as we can, but right now there's some very dangerous spots. We're very interested in potential kayak or canoe rental locations, I think, along the rivers and possibly the ponds. And one of the things that was briefly mentioned about, sort of looking towards the future about potential for swimming. If you've ever looked at the water quality data that's been collected in the wild and scenic portions of the river, the water quality has always been swimmable. Not that I'm recommending at this stage, creating beaches, but I think it would be a great step to talk about perhaps a swimming event, to start broadcasting to people that it is possible to swim in these rivers. We have a lot of people who are afraid of the rivers and think that it's unsafe, and it actually is safe. I'm not going to go to the extent of saying that the municipality should, open up a public beach at this point, but perhaps a swimming event like they have in the Charles River could open up people's eyes to the possibility of going swimming there. Another thing that was mentioned in the plan is just a goal, was that all the paths should be ADA accessible. And I just wanted to point out that I'm not sure that that is a great goal for all of the paths in Concord. I'm thinking particularly like the Harrington Park area, where we have some very steep slopes, and making those ADA accessible is perhaps not a goal that is appropriate. I also wanted to talk about, it wasn't really mentioned any public-private partnerships other than coordination with the RSC, which we appreciate. But, looking down the road, a potential for a public-private partnership of some sort with the Southbridge Boathouse, which is, at this point, our primary source of getting people who don't own their own vehicles out on the water. And also coordination more with OARS, who are located here in Concord, and do a fabulous job of doing the water quality monitoring, the outreach, and information about the impacts of stormwater on our rivers. And then I had one comment on the report itself, which was when you get to that table of maintenance projects and capital projects, the first column is overall recommendations. It had 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. I could not find anywhere what those numbers referred to. So just a slight comment on that. And then to put a different hat on, because I recently finished a year on the White Pond Task Force, and we got lots of comments from the public with respect to the White Pond Task Force and the beach, the seasonality, whether the bathrooms should stay there. A lot of people wanted to expand the time that the beach would be open. We understand the limitations on lifeguards, but if it's all possible to expand the timing of the recreational beach there, or at least the facilities, the trash collection, the sanitary facilities that were expanded some. And perhaps better coordination between the Recreation Department and the Conservation Department. And I was thinking in particular restrictions on dog use. The Conservation Department says no dog access to the water. The recreation signs have a different set of limitations or restrictions. So there's a lack of coordination there as to the best way to protect the White Pond area. And I think that's it. The last thing was just mentioned that there was a lot of talk about, perhaps developing some river guides, and I just wanted to point out to you guys and to the people in the audience that OARS has developed river guides to the Assabet, the Concord, and the Sudbury over time with suggested trips, and it shows the locations of all the put-ins and landings. And those are accessible to the public, and we'd like as much as people to be able to access them. We have brochure holders at Lowell Road and other areas where there's kiosks, and we distribute them as widely as we can, and we're doing much more with QR codes rather than paper copies in the future.
That's
great.
It. Thank you very much. It's a comprehensive list of things. You clearly spent a lot of time thinking about them, and we look forward to partnership with OARS and other groups in the future. There's one other person here in the. Okay, we're going to go to anyone on the Zoom call who would like to add additional comments.
Okay, it looks like you're unmuted now, Linda. Ready to speak?
Oh, should I start over then?
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yes. My question is about 55 Church Street. A renovation was done not so long ago for the recreation department there. A lovely exercise room money was spent on the third floor to put in a wooden floor, mirrors, bars, and the building that room is used for all kinds of exercise classes. I now understand the town is going to renovate that into offices. Am I correct? And where will those classes go?
We don't know the answer to that question for you here. We can find out what information we can and share that in our final comments that we circulate with the plan. Thank you, Linda, for bringing that to our attention.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody else, Jess, who's looking for? If anybody else out there on the Zoom cast would like to raise their hand to make a comment? Last call for anybody out there. I think we'll call an end to the meeting. Thank you all very much. We look forward to meeting you all and talking about more recreational opportunities in Concord. Thank you very much.